In a small, forgotten village, Maria struggled to provide for her beloved son, Angelo. His laughter was her only solace, but she feared her love alone wouldn't secure his future. Each day, Angelo grew thinner, his eyes dimming with hunger. Maria had exhausted every avenue, trapped in a cycle of despair. In her desperation, a heart-wrenching decision began to take root in her mind.
Angelo, my darling boy, I love you more than words can express.
Angelo snuggled closer, not comprehending the weight of her words.
There's a family who wants to give you a better life, filled with opportunities I can't provide.
A better life, Mama? But I want to stay with you.
Sometimes love means making difficult choices. This family can give you everything you deserve.
If it's for a better life, Mama, then I'll be brave.
The day of Angelo's departure dawned bright, a stark contrast to Maria's inner storm. Angelo, clinging to his worn teddy bear, seemed to understand more than his years allowed. A small suitcase held his meager possessions, each item a whisper of their shared memories. A knock on the door jolted Maria back to the present.
Remember what I told you, my love. Be brave, be strong, and never forget how much I love you.
The Garcias, with kind eyes and gentle smiles, held the key to Angelo's future.
Will I see you again, Mama?
One day, my love. Until then, know that I carry you in my heart every single day.
Mama, I don't want to go.
Oh, my sweet boy, I will always love you. Be brave, Angelo. Be brave for me.
Angelo clung to Maria one last time, his sobs muffled against her shoulder. As the Garcias led Angelo away, he turned back to look at Maria one last time.
One day, my son, one day we will find each other again.
The Garcias' home was a whirlwind of new sights and sounds for Angelo. His new parents, Marco and Isabella, showered him with affection.
Life with the Garcias was everything Maria had promised, a life of comfort, care, and boundless opportunities.
Yet a shadow lingered in Angelo's eyes, a silent reminder of his past.
I promised you, Mama, I promised to be brave.
Angelo clung to the promise he had made to Maria, choosing to move forward, fueled by love and gratitude. Not everyone in the Garcia family embraced Angelo with the same warmth. His Aunt Sophia's visits were marked by a strained politeness.
Aunt Sophia never really looked at me, not like she did with the others.
Yet Angelo discovered an inner resilience, excelling in school and finding solace in books.
Angelo, we're so proud of you.
I embraced the values of empathy and compassion, qualities instilled in me by Maria and nurtured by the Garcias. As the years passed, I found my place within the Garcia family.
Angelo, you shared jokes with Marco, confided in Isabella, and earned a grudging respect from Aunt Sophia.
Yet, a part of me remained tethered to the past, to the memory of Maria and the village I had left behind.
The food at our table was always plentiful, but there was a different kind of hunger gnawing at you.
It was a hunger for connection, for closure, for the missing piece of my identity. The passage of time had softened the edges of my memories, but it had not dimmed their intensity. I could still recall the feel of her rough hands on my face, the scent of wood smoke and wildflowers. These memories, once a source of comfort, now fueled a growing restlessness within me. I found myself searching for clues, for fragments of information that might lead me to Maria. The Garcias, ever sensitive to my unspoken longing, offered their unwavering support. My graduation day arrived, a milestone marked by both celebration and a quiet sense of purpose. I had excelled in my studies, my innate intelligence nurtured by the Garcias' unwavering support and my own fierce determination to honor their sacrifices. As I accepted my diploma, my gaze swept across the cheering crowd, my heart filled with gratitude for the life I had been given. Yet, amidst the joy and congratulations, a silent promise echoed in my heart. I had achieved everything I had set out to do, fulfilling the dreams my parents, both my mothers, had held for me. I was now a man, equipped with the education, resources, and most importantly, the emotional maturity to embark on the search for my birth mother. That evening, as the celebrations wound down and the house fell quiet, I approached my adoptive parents. I shared my decision with a mix of excitement and trepidation, my voice catching slightly as I spoke of the longing I had carried for so long.
We always knew this day would come, Isabella said, her voice filled with emotion as she took my hand in hers. Your Mama Maria, she's a part of you, just as much as we are, and will be here for you every step of the way, through it all.
The advent of the internet had revolutionized the world, connecting people across continents and cultures in ways unimaginable just a few decades prior. For me, it represented a lifeline, a digital map that could potentially lead me to my birth mother. I spent countless hours poring over online resources, my fingers flying across the keyboard as I navigated websites dedicated to reuniting families separated by adoption or circumstance. I registered with every relevant organization, my heart pounding with a mixture of hope and anxiety each time I clicked the submit button. I scoured online forums, my eyes scanning countless posts from individuals searching for lost loved ones, my own story echoing in their words. I uploaded my information to ancestry websites, hoping that a shared DNA match might unlock the secrets of my past.
Angelo's search extended beyond the digital realm. He reached out to international adoption agencies, his voice trembling slightly as he explained his situation, his limited information about his birth mother and the village where he had last seen her. He wrote letters to organizations in his birth country, his words filled with a mixture of hope, longing, and a plea for assistance.
Days turned into weeks, and my search for Maria became a relentless pursuit, woven with hope and disappointment. Each day brought fresh optimism as I logged on, heart pounding with anticipation. Each night, disappointment washed over me, the silence a stark reminder of elusive answers. The online world felt like a labyrinth of dead ends and false promises.
Yet Angelo refused to give up. He drew strength from Maria's memory, her love, a constant presence in his heart. He believed she was out there, and one day their paths would converge.
One ordinary evening, as I sat down at my computer, a glimmer of hope appeared in my inbox. It was an email from Sophia, a volunteer at a community center in my birth country. Sophia's email was brief, but its impact was profound. She had lived in the same village for many years and was familiar with most of its residents.
Angelo's heart raced as he read Sophia's email, a surge of adrenaline coursing through him. He immediately replied, expressing his gratitude and providing all the information he had. The days that followed were an agonizing wait for Angelo. Yet he couldn't shake the feeling that this time things might be different.
Section 3. The kindness of strangers. Sophia, true to her word, had embarked on her own quest to help me.
She visited the local community center, a hub of activity in the village, and shared Angelo's story with the other volunteers.
The villagers, known for their generosity, listened intently. Word of my search spread quickly through the close-knit community, each person eager to help in any way they could.
The village elders gathered to share their recollections of Maria. If anyone held the key to finding Maria, it would be Elena.
Sophia set out to find Elena, her heart filled with a renewed sense of purpose. The simple act of trying would bring me one step closer to unraveling the mysteries of my past. Section 4. A name, a village, a surge of emotions. Sophia found Elena tending her small garden, her hands calloused but gentle as she coaxed life from the dry earth.
Elena, now in her twilight years, still possessed a spark of recognition as Sophia described Angelo's search for his birth mother.
A wave of sadness washed over her face, her thoughts drifting back to a time when she and Maria were young, their lives intertwined by friendship and shared dreams.
Maria, Elena whispered, her voice barely audible above the gentle hum of insects. Yes, I remember her well. A kind soul she was, with a heart as big as the sky. It broke her to give up her son, but she did what she had to do for his future, for a life she couldn't provide.
Elena confirmed the details I had shared, filling in the missing pieces of my fragmented memories. She described the small house where Maria had lived with her son, the sacrifices she had made to ensure his well-being, and the heartbreak she had carried with her long after he was gone.
She confirmed the name of the village, a name that sent shivers down Angelo's spine when Sophia relayed it to him in a voice thick with emotion.
It was the same village, the very place where my earliest memories resided, a place I had only ever dared to dream of. A surge of emotions washed over me, a mixture of excitement, trepidation, and an overwhelming sense of longing.
He was finally on the cusp of uncovering the truth about his past, of connecting with the woman who had given him life, the woman whose love had transcended time and distance.
A journey of 1,000 miles. Armed with the confirmation I had yearned for, I knew what I had to do. The village, once a whisper from my past, now had a name, a location.
It was no longer a distant dream, but a destination.
I booked a flight to my birth country, my heart pounding with anticipation and trepidation. The journey was long, each passing hour winding down to a moment I had longed for. I carried a small suitcase, packed with essential items and unspoken questions.
He carried the love and support of his adoptive parents, their voices echoing in his heart.
As the plane touched down in my birth country, a wave of emotions washed over me. The air felt different here, the smells, the sounds, a sensory symphony tugging at my heartstrings.
He had brought with him a worn photograph of Maria, the same one he had treasured since childhood. Her image, her loving eyes, remained clear, a beacon guiding him toward the unknown.
The journey from the bustling city to the rural village was a study in contrasts. Angelo watched as towering skyscrapers gave way to rolling hills, the cacophony of city life replaced by the gentle rhythm of nature. He felt a sense of calm wash over him, a feeling that he was moving closer to something true, something essential. He had contacted Sophia, sharing his travel plans and expressing his gratitude for her unwavering support. She had been overjoyed to hear from him, her voice filled with warmth and encouragement. She had offered to meet him at the village, to guide him through the labyrinthine streets, to ease his transition into this unfamiliar yet strangely familiar world. As the taxi rumbled along the dusty road leading to the village, Angelo's heart pounded in his chest. He felt a surge of anxiety, a fear of the unknown, a fear of disappointment. What if Maria didn't want to see him? What if she had moved on, built a life that no longer included a son she had given up decades ago? He reminded himself that he had come this far, that he had faced his fears and followed his heart. He had the love and support of his adoptive family, the kindness of strangers like Sophia, and the unwavering belief that his journey, no matter the outcome, was leading him toward a greater understanding of himself, his past, and the enduring power of a mother's love. Sophia led Angelo through the winding streets of the village, his heart pounding with each step. They approached a small, unassuming house, its whitewashed walls faded by time, its blue door a splash of color against the dusty backdrop. A wave of emotion washed over Angelo as he recognized the house from his fragmented memories, the place where he had last seen his mother. He paused at the gate, his hand trembling slightly as he reached for the latch. Sophia placed a comforting hand on his arm. "Take your time, Angelo," she whispered, her eyes filled with understanding. "She's been waiting for you." Angelo took a deep breath and stepped into the courtyard, his senses overwhelmed by a rush of familiar scents and sounds. The air was heavy with the sweet fragrance of jasmine, the same scent he remembered from his childhood. He heard the gentle murmur of voices from inside the house, his heart skipping a beat as he recognized the melodic cadence of his native tongue. The door creaked open, and a woman stood before him. Time had etched lines on her face, her hair streaked with silver, but her eyes, those warm, loving eyes, were instantly recognizable. They mirrored the eyes of the young woman in the faded photograph he carried, the woman who had haunted his dreams for so long. "Mama?" Angelo whispered, his voice thick with emotion.
Maria gasped, her hand flying to her mouth, her eyes wide with a mixture of disbelief and overwhelming joy. "Angelo, my son!" she breathed, her voice trembling as she reached out to him.
The years melted away as Angelo and Maria embraced, their bodies pressed close, tears of joy and sorrow mingling on their faces. The weight of their separation, the unspoken questions, the longing that had spanned decades seemed to dissolve in that moment of pure, unadulterated connection. They spent hours talking, sharing stories of their lives, filling in the gaps that time and distance had created. Angelo learned about Maria's life in the village, her struggles, her triumphs, her unwavering love for the son she had given up for a better life. Maria listened with her heart in her eyes as Angelo spoke of his childhood with the Garcias, his education, his successes, his unwavering determination to find his birth mother. There were tears, of course, as they spoke of their shared history, the pain of their separation, the guilt that had haunted them both. But there was also laughter, a shared understanding that transcended language and cultural barriers. They discovered a bond that had never truly been broken, a love that had endured the test of time. Angelo's journey had come full circle. He had found what he had been searching for, a sense of belonging, a deeper understanding of his identity, and the unwavering love of the woman who had given him life. He realized that his story was not one of abandonment or loss, but one of sacrifice, resilience, and the enduring power of a mother's love, a love that knew no bounds, a love that had led him home.